Rogers TV on the line with Steve Merrill. You can join him on Pro Sports Info for his selections on football, baseball, and basketball. Of course, it's a huge NFL weekend. Maybe some people consider this that love pro football the best weekend of the year with the divisional round. You get some of the lesser playoff teams out of the way, and this is when you've got both quality and quantity going at it. The Atlanta Falcons pulled off the straight-up upset in Los Angeles as about a 6-point dog against the Rams last weekend. They go to Philadelphia, which is an interesting play, Steve, of course, because you've got the team that's the #1 seed as an underdog to a 6 seed because of an obvious quarterback situation.
Yeah, first time in NFL playoff history, I believe, that a rested #1 seed is a home underdog. And we've only had a handful of times in general that we get home dogs in the playoffs, especially the rested teams. And although it's a small sample, they've covered about 70% of the time against the spread for several decades now. It's an angle that continues to work. Now, normally the reason it happens is what we have here at Philadelphia. Usually there's some kind of lineup change or injury or something. And obviously the reason Philly's now a home dog as a 1 seed is because Carson Wentz is out. But Nick Foles, a very capable backup. This is a guy who back in 2011 in Chip Kelly's first season, when he was the full-time starter, had a 27-2 touchdown interception ratio, and also had the 3rd highest seasonal quarterback rating in NFL history that year. So it's a very interesting line to me. I do think Atlanta's the better team. In fact, I had a strong best bet last week on the Falcons +6. That was my game of the week in the NFL. A lot of things I liked about that game. I thought Atlanta was the better team, an inexperienced Rams squad. Atlanta was getting a full 6 points. Now they're a 3-point road favorite. And although I think Atlanta is the better team in this game, the situation is definitely favoring Philadelphia as the home dog. Keep in mind, this is Atlanta's 4th road game in the past 5 weeks overall. They had to play that tough game at New Orleans that they lost. That meant they had a must-win against Carolina to finish the season. They then traveled cross-country last week on a short week. Now they're playing again on the road. But keep in mind, before that New Orleans game several weeks ago, they had a Monday nighter at Tampa. So this is their 4th road game in 5 weeks. They played 2 of those on short rest. So I think Atlanta's the better team, but I think Philadelphia's in the much better spot in this one.
And Steve, it's a great case sample of what we talked about just a few minutes ago in regards to you having the metrics, the insight, the information, the experience, and loving Atlanta, going to Los Angeles as a 6-point underdog. I just saw that line and I was like, man, the Falcons, that's a great play. I can't believe they're a 6-point. But I had nothing to base that on except for kind of a feel or a whim that this was an experienced playoff team playing on the road. And I didn't think that there was that much disparity between the two teams. So I thought that was a really good play as well. Now we go to the big outlier here. And I can't imagine, Steve, that in the last 15 years that there has been a team that has been a double-digit favorite as much as the New England Patriots. It seems like a handful of times a year, they're a 15-point favorite against the Dolphins or an 11-point favorite against the Bills. And this even carries into the playoffs. So you got Tennessee at New England, 13-point spread.
Yeah, exactly right. And don't forget the Jets, the other divisional team. I mean, there's a reason why they're double-digit favorites because they're in such a weak division historically year after year. Also, they're a very public team. You know, the odds makers have to inflate the line on New England because people are going to play them because they win year after year. They're also a very good offensive team normally, which means it's easier to win by double-digit margins. And I don't trust Tennessee in this game. They're down by 18 points at halftime last week at Kansas City. I give the Chiefs more credit for losing that game than I do Tennessee from coming from behind and winning. I don't think New England would make that same mistake. And Tennessee is a terrible passing offense, probably the worst in the NFL this year. So the problem is when you get behind, as they will in this game, it's very difficult to play from behind. I know they came back last week down 21-3, but that's basically because Kansas City went to sleep. New England won't make that same mistake. Now, I always can make 2 sides for every game, and my concern with New England here is what's going on within the organization. You know, I was shocked when they got rid of Garoppolo, seeing that they don't have a capable backup anymore with Brissett in Indianapolis now. Now it's starting to look like Belichick, Brady, owner Kroft. There's some tensions there. And that worries me a little bit. I don't think that would show in the playoffs. You would think they'd all be on the same page about winning right now, but that is a concern. But I don't think Tennessee has much left in the tank. I think it ends this week. If you take them at plus 13.5, you're basically just hoping they can cover because I don't think they can win the game straight up.